Hi everyone. Today I'm really excited to show you a recipe that is very easy to make, fiber rich and very nutritious, and it's going to be with dandelion greens. So go ahead and take a look, and I hope you'll try it because I absolutely love this recipe. So I was at the farmer's market a few days ago and I came across these leafy greens. Do any of you know what these are? They're dandelion greens. I like to eat leafy greens once or twice a week because they're very, very healthy. So today I'm going to show you how to cook up dandelion greens and turn them into a really, really delicious side dish, or you can add them to pasta or add them to a soup or just eat them on their own. I trim the ends, the thick stemmy part, because we're not going to eat that. But leave some of the stem because it's actually really tasty and it adds a nice crunch to your dish. I chop really finely. The stemmy ends I cut really finely. And I'm going to chop this all the way through and add it to a bowl with water and wash these leaves a few times just to make sure we get rid of any grit and insects. Dandelion greens are really delicious, very healthy. They are slightly bitter. I have a big sweet onion here, Vidalia onion. I'm going to chop that up finely. I saute that in some olive oil with just a few spices and add the dandelion greens, and they cook really fast. So now dandelion greens, as I said, are slightly quite bitter, but still very tasty. So I cook them with onion, which takes away the bitterness, and they actually they've got this delicious sweet taste. And they're very, instead of eating a raw salad, you can have this as a side dish. They're very rich in iron, vitamin A, vitamin K, magnesium, very, very chock full of good nutrients. Lots of fiber, obviously, because they're leafy greens. And they're also diuretic. So if you're feeling a little bloaty and puffy and you've got water retention, then these are a great, great thing to have. And it kind of just helps depuff you. And I'm going to add them to a big bowl. Find the biggest bowl you have, throw them into that. I've added the dandelion greens to the pot. And I'm going to fill it up with nice cold water. But keep swirling the leaves around so you can really shake off all the grit. Fill the pot up, leave it to stand for like 10 minutes. Leave that in the pot for about 15 minutes. It really gives time for the grit and all the bugs and everything to settle to the bottom of the water. And then we're going to take the leaves out, put them in a colander, throw off the dirty water, put them back in there and fill up with water again. So I like to wash them 2-3 times just to make sure they're really clean before I start cooking them. I've chopped up half a large onion, Vidalia onion. So I'm going to add some olive oil, Trader Joe's. I love this one. So just add about 2 tablespoons. So heat the olive oil at a medium heat, and when it's hot, don't let it smoke, but when it's hot, I'm going to add ajwain seeds. In Hindi we say ajwain, but they're called bishop's weed or caraway seeds. They're really, really good for digestion. So just add a pinch and they'll start to sort of sizzle in there. Now add the onions and set your heat low to medium. You don't want the onions to brown. You just want them to just soften. Let them cook on gentle heat in the olive oil until they're softened and just a light golden brown. I'm also going to zest in the fresh turmeric that I had peeled, about a 1 inch. Just careful not to zest in your finger. And that's going to add a really lovely yellow color and a beautiful flavor to the whole thing. And I'm going to keep this on medium flame and just let it gently cook the onions. So it's been about 15 minutes and we're ready to take the dandelion greens out of the water, and I'm going to put them into this colander to drain off. But we're going to do another wash because it's worth it up front to wash these leaves really, really well. Throw off this water. You can see there's a lot of grit at the bottom. So rinse this out, get all the grit out, add the greens back in. So let this fill up with water again. It's been about 10-15 minutes. We're going to do round 2 of taking the dandelion greens out of the water. Scoop them up. Don't shake the water too much, otherwise all the grit starts to mix in with the leaves again. Round 2 done. Throw the water away. Rinse. Quick rinse. Get the grit out and throw the dandelion greens in again. So this will be wash number 3. And now you just want to do a finish off rinse under running water, and then you're ready to fry. Add the greens to the pan with the sauteed onions and add a sprinkle bit of salt and cover with a lid and let it cook. While the greens cook, you'll see they'll release moisture, and that moisture will allow them to cook in their own steam. So let that happen for a few minutes. The lid after a few minutes and just stir the greens around. and then put the lid back on and just let them cook and keep stirring until you see that they start to wilt. So these dandelion greens are almost cooked. Once the green leaves start to wilt and most of the water has evaporated, then they are good to eat. But I like to cook them just a little bit more. Look at that beautiful bright green color. We have a delicious dandelion green sauté. Now, dandelions are those weeds you see growing in your lawn in the summer. They have yellow flowers, and they're actually extremely nutritious, and they're very beneficial for wildlife because when the flowers turn into seeds, a lot of birds eat that, and it just helps support the ecosystem. So next time you see dandelions growing in your lawn, leave them be and do not spray pesticides. Thank you. Enjoy.